Hello, hello, and welcome back to my podcast. I am quite excited today because, yes, this is finished. I'm wearing this and it's done pretty much. I'll talk about that in a bit, but I'm even more excited because today is pattern release day for my Perth Beanie. Let's pop this on and let you see. Here we are. It is up on my blog and it's a free pattern. It's up there and it's in UK and US terms and it's the medium size, which I've put up on my blog. So that's all there for free. You just need to go and click the link. I'll stick it in the description. But if you want to upgrade and get the child size, teen size and the larger adult size, then you can go to Ravelry or to my website and do that. There's also a bonus video as well that takes you through this texture section. It's just over 10 minutes long and it's very guided, and if you're newer to crochet or you've never tried this Alpine stitch before, then that is in the paid for version of the pattern, like I say, up on my website or Ravelry. So that just all went live this morning, sent the email, and within minutes Peter had messaged me to say that I had not added the links to Ravelry and my website. So I thought I had it all done right. I was doing it this morning and there's just so many things that you kind of chicken and the egg thing, you know, I can't put this link in until, yeah, that was the one, I think, the one flaw in my launch plan. But, you know, I quickly sorted it out, sent another email. So if you're on my mailing list, it will be the second email. Just ignore the first one because the second email has got all the links in. And apologies for clogging up your mailbox with an extra email. So almost all went smoothly. I'm really, really happy though. It's up there. Thank you to my testers. I haven't done a reel yet or a video, and I'll just show all their different versions. I'm really pleased Jill actually did the same yarn and exactly the same colour because she'd bought the yarn at the the Scottish Yarn Festival. She had bought it in Perth at the Scottish Yarn Festival and gone for the same colour as me, so it's lovely to see her version as well as all the other testers. So they've tried it out in different yarns to see how that is, and that's always interesting to see, especially things like quantities. So thank you to my testers, big shout out, and to my new tech editor, who is Ruth Brash, who tech edited for me for the first time. It was really lovely working with her and just seeing her take on how I've written a pattern as well, because I've worked with a few different tech editors and they all pick up on slightly different things, and every time it's improving my pattern game. So thank you to Ruth for going through that and for the recommendations you made. So yeah, go ahead, go to my blog, have a look, just make up the medium version if you like. I'm actually wearing the adult large, but the medium version, like I say, is up there on my blog and it's there for the world. And I'm just going to keep it there. I'm not going to be taking it down or anything. It's there, and I'll be able to just link to that as a free pattern from Pinterest and Instagram and other YouTube videos, etc., which is great. And yeah, and if you want to, you can upgrade. If you don't, just go for the free one. I'm happy with that. It's all good. So have fun with that. I'll look forward to seeing if anyone goes ahead and makes one up over the weekend, because it's a really quick pattern. Works up quite fast. I don't need to worry about my hair getting mucked up at this stage. It's still so short and it will work up quickly. You're just working in the round from the crown down to the brim. Alright. Oh, I feel chilly now. But I've got my cosy jumper. So this is my first finished object for today. I've got 2 finished objects as well as the pattern launch. Whew, I think I need a quick sip of tea and then I'll carry on. So yes, I have finished my sea glass sweater. This one has been on the needles for about a year. I think it was about this time last year I cast on. It's a pattern by Wool and Pine Designs. It's called Sea Glass Sweater and I love it. But if you've been following me any length of time, you'll know that I got the sizing slightly wrong. I got all the way to the the waistband and I had to frog back, and this is like 1x1 stranded knitting. It was a pig to frog. Fortunately, I've learned about colour dominance, so it wasn't all completely tangled, but it did take me a while. And went right back to the sleeve split, which you can see I've still not quite got it right. But the arms, when I started on the arms, and they were just way too tight, so that was my issue. I just split wrongly for them. I'm wishing now that I'd put just a few more, maybe even less repeats or more stitches into the arms. It's all a learning thing. This is the first jumper I've ever made, so it's a jumper. It fits slightly too big around here, but it gives me lots of movement on the plus side. So I finished it with alternating cuff colours. It's the same yarn, because I think it would bug me if the yarns were slightly different, maybe a different thickness, or maybe one would pill more or fuzz up more or shrink more or something. So I've gone for two, the same brand. It's Schackenmeyer and it is their extra fine merino, in these two colours, which are left over from my Dutch houses blanket actually. So it's a nice wee nod to that. It is a scrappy DK knit. All the yarn, yeah, including these bits and that, it's all left over from other projects. These are, I mean, some of the pieces were just this length, some were half a ball or whatever, and you can see I've repeated them, and obviously I needed bigger quantities for around here. I'm still not convinced with round the waist, so this is still, I haven't done this end, it's the only bit I haven't finished, because it doesn't quite sit right. It's got this tendency to flip up, and I'm not, I thought I'd wear it. A few people said, oh, wear it, you know, it might sort itself out, and I thought, yeah, fair enough, it'll save me having to frog. So I'm just going to frog back just to a round or two before the waistband. And what I did for the sleeves, for the cuffs, was I moved down, this is all done in a 5.5 needle, and for the last two rounds I moved down to a 4.5 and then a 3.5 for this bit. So I think if I do that again, and I also learned about just changing colours for these ones, I did a round of just stockinette stitch, knit all the way around before I moved into the knit one purl one, whereas here on the waist I just went straight in with the brown straight into knit one purl one. So sorry, I didn't quite have that high enough. Straight into knit one purl one, and I think that could be what the issue is. I also think it could do with it being tighter. I might go down a needle size again. I think I only did that one on a 4mm, so I think I'll go down again to a 3.5. And that will just cinch that in and I'll be happier with it. But other than that, I'd say it's a finished item. All the other ends are sewn in, and I wore it for half the day yesterday, and I put it straight on as soon as I was out of the shower this morning. I put it straight on. I've only got a vest on under this, and it's fine against my skin. I'm really happy with it. Would recommend this pattern. You don't have to be too advanced a knitter. It's just a top down and then split. Yeah, I need to work on that. Since starting this, I have done the pattern grading course for crochet, but that would apply a lot to knitting as well. So I think if I was to do another jumper, I would get my sizing much more spot on. So that is that. Next finished object, back to another crochet one. I have finished my little doll. Isn't she fab? I finished her, and I got set her up for autumn with little booties, and I knitted her a scarf, and I think on the last day she needed a top, so I'd made her trousers, but she needed a top. I've done a jacket. Let's take her scarf off and you can see a bit better. I made a jacket and just little buttons on it. They're actually faux buttons because I used poppers. So she's like that. And I'm really happy with her. No idea who I'm going to give it to. I just made this one for fun and I'm chuffed she's finished. This was a pattern from the My Crochet Doll book by Isabel Cassidian, and totally recommend. Let's come back a bit, you can see it in full. Totally recommend that one. It's a good fun book, and it's available. It's a David and Charles publication, so you should be able to find that one. And oh, I'll stick a link. I'll stick a link as well in the description, so that you don't have to go and find it. I'll try and put all my links in the description below. So if I'll pop some things up on the screen, but if you want to check out the actual links, check out the description. Still not 100% convinced about this sort of saggy bit here, but hey, this scarf kind of covers that up, so there we go. Ta-da! So, 2 finished objects, and I'm going to quickly show you my Battenberg blanket without the blanket, because actually the blanket hasn't had any work on it at all, but I have made a ton of the squares. So I've carried on making squares, and if you don't know what the Battenberg blanket is, check out my last podcast, because I did show it off in quite a lot of detail in that one. But I'm not going to bore you by just bringing it up every single one, but this is just too cute not to show off now and again. And for it, I had some happy mail. I ordered some yarn from Amo Yarn, who I saw at the Scottish Yarn Festival, and I didn't buy anything on the day, but since then they've started following me, I've started following them, and actually Becky tested my Perth Beanie for me, so that was good. And I have bought some little minis. There were 5. I have immediately wound and crocheted up 3 of them, and this is how they're looking crocheted up. Aren't they cute? I like the speckles on them. So these are, I've crocheted them all. I got 5 little squares from each 10-gram mini. These are 10-gram minis, and the colourway is Paint Splashes, and the base is Sparkle 4-ply, which is merino nylon, and it has that, is it Stellina? I always want to call it Spiralina. I have to be careful. I'm pretty sure it's Stellina. I've got it right. So hope the sparkle is coming up there. They're cute. Lovely to work with, nice and soft. I'll probably not put this one in. I'll keep this for something else. It's just got too much yellow, I think. I will see. I might pop it in. I'll think about that one. Looking forward to this though. This one looks nice and pinky purpley, bit of orange, bit of blue. Cool. Oh, and I've got, if you're not familiar with them, I have a card, and that's what their branding is like. It's yeah, they're very into gaming. I think the whole family are involved, which is really good. And there's young kids, and they've inspired things like a bit of a Nintendo twist and Pokemon and all that kind of thing. So yeah, fun indie dye to go and check out is Amo Yarn. Right, have another sip. I am really excited today. I'm almost jittery actually. I'm just so excited about that Perth Beanie going live. Yeah, it's just such a fun project to design, and it's been fun to work with the testers, and yeah, I'm just glad that it's out there now. I've been meaning to mention my nails. This was just a nail polish. I was up visiting my sister during the week, and she had nail polish out, and we quickly did our nails. It's Nail Kind. I really like Nail Kind. It's a vegan nail polish, and it's mostly plant-based. So, in fact, I only use Nail Kind nail varnish at the moment. So, big shout out to my youngest sister Eva for the nail polish. So, what else have I got? I've done some crochet. Let's go back to knitting. I've been working quite a bit on my socks. These are the Woodland Trail socks by Dana Ray Makes, and I'm using this beautiful orange colour from Otter and Papoose yarn, and I really like it. These are working up beautifully. They're going to be for me. I am about 2 centimetres off the toe, I think. So not bad, nearly there. And I'm working the largest size, so I've got 72 stitches on the needles. And if you saw my last episode, this is the one I'm furthest on with, but I'm at the heel turn of the heel flap, sorry, of the other one. So once I finish this one, I'll be back to the other one, and in no time at all, I hope, they'll be finished. And I didn't mention the last day, I bought new needles. So these are my new needles, and they are fab. Let's see, it's going to focus in on them. These are the driftwood needles from Leica, and I ordered them from Wool Warehouse actually. I was putting in a small order from Wool Warehouse and I spotted these, and I was after some new needles because my previous 2.2, I'm using 2.25mm needles, they were just cheapest chips, bamboo ones, and they were all getting that little bit bow-legged, and it was just really bugging me. So I've gone for these ones. They're also a lot shorter. My previous ones were, I'm sure they were 25 centimetres. Might have been 20. These ones are only 15 centimetres end to end. So I'm finding them really nice to work with. Stitches are just slipping around and I'm happy with those. So I would recommend those Leica driftwood needles. I like to have my knitting needles because unlike a crochet hook where you can have the needle size, like the 3.5mm or whatever, you can have that in a textured, bumpy, sort of embossed, if you like, way, so that you can always read it. Sometimes on double pointeds, because you're working along the needle, you can't have a rough bit, and often the size wears off. So I do tend for my double pointed needles to have each size in a different brand. So I was trying out the Leica ones for my 2.25s, and I went ahead and bought two packs of 5 because I do like to have both socks on the needles at the one time. Right, before I talk about my new whip, I am going to mention this one, which is in my Jane Crow bag, and Janie Crow, sorry, and it's had quite a bit of love. This is my Not So Granny wrap by Joanne Scrace. Let's come right back. So I think the last time I was just starting here, around about here somewhere, and I've done all this and I'm chuffed with that. It does seem to be going slightly faster. I don't know if I'm just getting really into the stitches or what, or if because now I'm working centre pull on this one, if it's just coming out that bit easier now that it's getting a bit lighter. And with my other colour, that was before I got my ball winder, so it's in a ball, and I guess the ball's a bit lighter now and it's just spinning that bit more freely. But yeah, it seems to be going all right, and I am halfway through this colour. So I'm towards halfway through the wrap, I would say. Not quite, but getting there. Will it be finished this year? I doubt it, but it's a good slow make and I'm enjoying it, so that's the main thing. Pop that one away in there. So I read a tip, I'm sure it was Dora Does, who had a tip saying that to spur you on to finish a project, especially if it's something like a sweater or a long big blanket project, you can do the swatch for whatever it is you're doing next when you get towards the end, and I love that idea. So I went ahead and I swatched for my next project when I was about here on cuff 2, and I'll show you. Here we have it. It's a bit wonky and it's also wrong. There are a few things that I had totally misread in the pattern. I'd got the right side and the wrong side muddled up for one, and I just assumed the way the ridges were going to work and I hadn't really looked at the pattern properly. This has got a lot of vertical stretch on it, so this is blocked, and I was kind of thinking, I'm not sure what I think of this. That once the weight gets pulled on that could end up being a bit meh. However, I went back and I looked again, and yeah, it was all me. So nothing wrong with the pattern at all. Not that I didn't doubt that there was, but yeah, here we are. It is, I'll take my post-it note out. It's this one in Murit magazine, and it's called Kylo by Smitha Cresta, and I'll show you what I have because it's much better than that silly little swatch. Here we go. I've got this far. So it's bottom up. So I've done the first 10 centimetres or so, and it's looking much better. I've just run out of my first 50-gram ball of yarn, so I pulled it through so it'd be easy to talk about without worrying about a live end. And I've got this here because I'm using slightly different yarn from the recommended yarn, and I went ahead, did a tension square like you saw there. It's not quite right, but it did at least give me the width for my stitches, and I calculated I was going to do the size 5. And then top tip, if you are crocheting a jumper, is to place it on top of a jumper that you like, that you wear, and see how the width is fitting in comparison with that. It's a slightly more accurate measure, gives you a bit more of an accurate idea than just going on the measurement alone, because then you've got the fit of the jumper that you like. You have to bear in mind whether the pattern you're following is with negative ease or positive ease, and how much positive ease, etc. But it does give you a good idea. So I laid this against my favourite jumper, and it was actually too big. So I was able to, I'd already done the first row, rather than pull out all the stitches, I just stopped short, and I'll be able to just undo these chains. One thing I have done, I have started slightly differently from the pattern. Pattern recommended foundation half treble start, and I tried that in my swatch. Let's get this the right way around. Let's get the start end here. I decided I wasn't too keen on that for the bottom, so I've switched, and I have done a start that I'm actually beginning to use more and more. Make sure I get this the right way around. Here's my start. I mean, there's nothing wrong, don't get me wrong. I never follow a pattern properly. I always, or almost always, kind of look at it and go, I'm going to do this. So do go ahead and just follow that pattern as is if you want to. This is simply my own take. And I've done a regular chain start, so I chained across, and then I've worked into the bumps of the chains rather than into the chain itself. And I think, because there's no hem added to this one, I think that's going to be a good end. Just what I've done. Take it or leave it. Go ahead, follow the pattern if you want. But yeah, let's see if I can find you another picture. I don't want to give away too much what's in the magazine, because I know some people are still waiting for it. Here we go. Here's some really good pictures. Isn't it good? I really, really like this one. Yeah, when Murit first started showing pictures for what was in issue 5, here's the front cover, I was instantly drawn to that one. Oh, there's a loud magpie outside. So I'm enjoying it. I am using yarn from my mum's stash for this one. Don't know if you saw on Instagram last week, I posted a reel of me and my mum sorting out her stash outs up at her house, and I noticed that she had quite a lot of this colour, and I thought, so I went and asked nicely, and I managed to get the yarn. Ta-da! So this would be me for the next few days. The weather looks, I'm just looking out the window, the weather is just minging, to use Scots word there. It is yuck for the next few days. We're going to have quite a bit of rain, so I am just going to snuggle down, going to wear my new sea glass sweater, probably going to have a hot water bottle tucked somewhere, and I am going to just start crocheting on this one. Now, I believe that is all the stuff. So first thing, go check out that hat pattern. Secondly, subscribe if you haven't already. Thirdly, let me know what you've been working on as you've been watching. And fourthly, give the video a thumbs up, and that would be great. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.